and he delivered it to Corsi nicely. And that's what you have to do against Duke. You have to be aggressive.
Corsi has really good hands as Hood knocked down his first shot.
Many North Carolina teams. But Reggie, you got the answer.
Well,
Duke, Carolina,
and NC Central.
and North Carolina Central.
There we go.
Right down the road. Congratulations to LaVelle Moulton and his squad.
Mentality when you can score without the ball like he does. I'm going to tell you, there's something about guys like McDermott and Warren. Great scoring ability. I know NBA guys want to look for this and look for that. Bottom line is those two guys can play.
Let me give you a stat on Tyler Lewis as Hood knocks down the three and has a chance. Screen by Jefferson. Hood steps back, hits the three.
He's been so good.
Three-pointer that Ralston Turner has made so far in the ACC tournament.
You know what impresses me this afternoon? You would think a kid like Warren would take a lot of really hurried and bad shots. I haven't seen a bad shot. That's certainly not a bad shot. Remember this, they were up 13. They were up 13 last night on Clemson.
NC State shot 67% in the first half, 16 of 24. They're 23% in the second half, 3 of 13.
They're in the zone now, 2-3 zone. Came out of their man-to-man. Had too many holes in it. Duke laying some screens against that zone. Hairston getting minutes.
Shot clock to 7. Suleiman to Hood. Hood the drive, the floater, and another basket for out of the start of the NCAA tournament. And for NC State, a big win for a team trying to make a case for an at-large. Although, as Mark Godfrey told us, their goal here, as Hood hits with the shot clock running down. Marty Aronoff telling us it had been 3 minutes and 14 seconds since either team had scored a point. And if Marty says it, it is so. Hood, nice little fake, and with the answer to the other end.
Reaching in on jump shots, drawing fouls.
Duke, a team known for great three-point shooting. They've really been attacking the rim, but they've missed some chances. Clemson has defended the rim very well. Here's Hood driving, and he gets it to go to tie the game.
This season, playing well coming into the ACC tournament, continues to maintain that streak of good games.
Last 7 games for Hall, almost 13 points per. Duke goes over the top again. Hood with a slam.
Said to his teammates, he said, "Pass me the ball, man." And he is working hard. He is posting up, and you know what? If I'm Coach Brownell, I'm going to call a timeout and say, you know what? He's right. He wants to score. Pass him the ball then.
He's got about 30 pounds on Emil Jefferson as Hood is back in the game, evidently feeling better.
McAdoo guarding Parker. Parker's going to want to try to put it on the floor and attack the basket. McAdoo's an outstanding athlete. He's going to have to try to stay in front.
He guarded him in the first matchup as well. Parker was good in the first half. Second half really was stymied, was 2 for 5.
Rodney Hood, and Duke's on the board first.
He was great in the first half at the ball. We've often talked about you got a ball, you man, got a vision of both.
Well, North Carolina's always been good at taking advantage of the overplay with the back door.
Hood for 3.
Wow. What a coach.
Virginia's just had an outstanding year. We know that
Absolutely.
the ACC schedule is not exactly balanced. We understand it, but they've won the league by 3 games out of it.
Oh, they've been tremendous. Really playing well. A veteran basketball team. Love it. Harris, Brogdon.
Hood absorbs some contact and still finishes. They've got a final in for the women's game we just mentioned. Duke defeated at North Carolina. They'll play Notre Dame. Defeated Notre Dame in the ACC championship. Rodney Hood having.
The Carolinas really fought their way back into this without Marcus Page being on the floor.
Hasn't scored tonight, getting ready to check back in, and they're back within 4.
See, I think North Carolina should just start the game at halftime. Tell Marcus Page it's halftime before the game starts. Let him have some oranges and give him a towel and tell him, all right, good luck in the second half.
What did he have, 31 of the 35 after halftime against State? Is Rodney Hood anything he wants?
That's it on the bounds.
North Carolina nonchalant on that handoff, and Thornton able to knock it away.
Hood sees a seam.
He can get to the rim now. He can get
For 120 points per 100 possessions. That is the second best in the country behind only Creighton. And Jay, when they're clicking, when 4 or 5 different guys are playing well, Hood's been one of them tonight. They're tough to play with.
Got 32 in a row here. Carolina comes in as one of the hottest teams in America. You can say that also about Michigan. Congratulations to the Wolverines winning that Big Ten.
With 1-3-1. Roy Williams switching up defenses like he did in the second half at Chapel Hill.
They're going 2-1. They're going even against odd up on top.
Hood.
Oh, he's on fire, man. Hold the fire, Chief. Hold the...
Just guard up against him to keep him from getting open looks. But over the last couple of weeks, he's been able to get some nice looks at the basket and been knocking them down.
And I think you can still make an argument that Karis LeVert's their best player.
Indeed.
Hood, this time with a ball fake inside and scores.
About that sort.
To spend the next 7 minutes destroying the ACC Player of the Year pick of Sean Farnham.
Just kidding, Sean. I like KJ McDaniels. He killed Notre Dame earlier in the year. Nice.
Rodney Hood is able to finish.
He's been a great addition to this team, a guy who can really stick the long ball, and he's given them some veteran leadership as a fifth-year senior. Bob Duke's been really good when they've been driving the basketball. I'd like to see them continue. Nicely done there.
Rodney, 4% as a team at the free throw line. They're second in the ACC in most free throws per game attempted. They get to the line, they just can't make them.
Yeah, and if you look at many of the guys, they shoot it with good form, so it comes down to confidence. They certainly get their reps in. Tell you what, this is a critical time for Wake Forest. As Rodney Hood they have so aggressively helped on dribble penetration. It opens up those opportunities for weak side offensive rebounds. Wake Forest is really taking advantage in this game.
Rodney Hood swishes one
inside and make quick, decisive moves. Tyler Kavanaugh executing beautifully on that one. Jabari Parker has to get a touch here.
Instead it's Hood left alone at the foul line.
For a 2-3 zone is to make sure that you get guys off the glass.
Chief Suleiman and Duke go for 2 to start this game from deep. You knew that wouldn't last long. Rodney Hood bangs one.
Right now, that 2-3 zone is very spread right now.
Hood takes advantage. His second from the floor. Against Maryland. They missed 11 of their first 13 threes. Against Carolina, they're 8 for 13. That's a high percentage look. With injuries and departures having limited their roster size. And Jabari Parker takes down Barksdale and takes the ball away. Hood off the glass.
We talk about a valiant effort and a no-quit mentality.
Ball fake cleared. Hood doesn't forget.
But all of a sudden now you got the Duke fans interested.
Against Maryland, Duke went just 5 of 24 from deep.
Room because of his length. You know, that's just effort and understanding how to do it.
This lineup on the floor for Duke, James Johnson wants to make sure they locate the shooters, and then Hood burns it.
Tyler Thornton, instead of trying to go over his shoulder, because Thornton will find a way to trick you into offensive fouling, into charging. Good job. That time Hood found the defender right in his face, kicked it back outside. Right there, they're back. He gets the jumper. Coachable. Well liked by his teammates. He is the go-to guy on this team.
15-point Duke advantage. Suleiman working against the zone, and they swing it to Hood. It's a tough.
Second turnover, and Jabari Parker did not play well in the second half against North Carolina and has not had a good start in this high-level game against Syracuse.
And I think a lot of that's that Syracuse zone. Really, they're finding him, they're identifying him everywhere he goes.
Well, Parker in the middle, he can make a play in there. Plumlee's behind the zone, and it might not be a bad idea for Parker to try to get into the middle.
That's what I would do. Now let's slide right where the ACC is.
Plumlee whips a pass to the corner for Hood. Knocks down the three.
Nice play. He was a facilitator there. Plumlee caught the ball. He nipped today. A big game.
Russ Smith. Got the win at Cincinnati.
Look at those gaps in that zone. Big gaps.
Hood.
He's a finisher. See, he's a guy, if he catches the ball there.
Maybe still number one if they win this game tonight. That's up to the voters to decide. Syracuse leading Duke. Number 5 Duke by 4 late in the first half.
Guys, I would like to wow you with my savant-like skills of identifying a defense. Syracuse in a 2-3 zone.
And not even with man-to-man principles, right, Jay?
Wide open at that foul line area. Wide open at that foul line area. Just catch the ball in there. I think 28 the first matchup.
There's a man behind that zone, Emil Jefferson.
Right, he can throw the ball, get a little lob inside.
Hood. Yes.
He's so effective once he gets into that lane. So efficient. Grant and Fear have to score. They have 2 points on the board for us. Hood likes that 3-second. He wants to get the ball in deep. There he is. He got it again. He got it again. He loves that. Oh, he loves that, Jay. I see your eyes get like a half.
Did a terrific job at VCU, followed by Oklahoma.
Both these clubs have such loyalty on their staff. They believe in former players that understand what it's about. You got Hopkins on the other end. You got McNamara.
Adrian Autry.
Autry as well.
Looking inside for Parker. Hood the screen. Down to 8. Down to 3.
Oh, nice pass. What a pass. That was a terrific look. Great anticipation.
A lot of big guys are not used to that, and Plumlee was able to knock it away.
Rory Williams is going to have to go deeper into his bench. Desmond Hubert has come to the scorer's table. For Rodney Hood.
He's been shooting like 29% from the three-point range. Came in with a big reputation as a long-range shooter. You got to make shots, man. You can take all the defense you want. If you don't make shots, you got no shot.
McAdoo and Parker continuing to guard one another. Each of them has 1 foul 5 minutes in. Hood, nice shot.
What a great.
And his numbers have been terrific from shooting.
Jabari Parker to the bench. Emil Jefferson returns for Duke.
Plumlee out there to lay screens. Give him a little wide body inside. There he is. He lays those big screens.
Hood's feeling it. And knocks another one down. Parker back in for Duke. Plumlee to the bench. Suleiman guarded by Page. Jefferson not an outside shooter. The handoff now.
Got a switch.
Hood having some kind of a night. He's been so much more aggressive lately, Jay. He's getting to the line a lot. He's just not making enough of it.
And it's a mental thing because he didn't struggle from the line like this in high school.
Hood with 9 points already. Look at this move on Tokoto.
Oh,
look at that move.
What a great thing. They're 4-1. Had the big win, as you mentioned, Louisville, Michigan State, Kentucky. Really done a great job in those situations.
That beat Pittsburgh as well. Their only loss to a ranked team was at Syracuse. They were handled rather easily by the Orange. The Carolinas won 7 in a row overall. Rodney Hood.
The threes, missed their last 6. I mean, Roy Williams, you're talking about intensity and emotion. Somebody tell him he's in the Hall of Fame, man. That's what makes him such a winner, fierce competitor. I want to beat you off that dribble. Take it one-on-one to the goal.
Hood spins and banks it home. What?
Not all ready to go at 100%. But he feels with Trey Golden, he can bring him in maybe 2 minutes deep into the game and try to get him out there for 2-minute intervals. We'll watch for that momentarily.
Early zone by Georgia Tech here, trying to negate the driving deep a little bit.
Glue to this team in so many respects. Tyler Thornton, sort of a coach on the floor, a guy that doesn't demand the ball much, but really does lead this team. Hood has been outstanding all season long, as has Rashid Suleiman. Both can drive, draw, and kick.
really playing without a post right now. All 5 guys on the perimeter.
Hood lights it up.
That's against BC, but he's had some time to practice and feel like he's just about at 100%.
Hood. He has got the first television timeout of the second half.
The 1-2-2 zone by Georgia Tech now. Try to take Duke out of its rhythm.
Good little stutter step. Oh, he's so good. A pull-up from the elbow does not go, but that's a nice offensive rebound by Jefferson. Fire away.
I don't think many teams come into a Duke game thinking I've got to outscore them, but Maryland's defense is not staunch at this point, so they've got to score.
That's a two-pointer. Too strong in another effort. But again, got that one.
Chris Randall, he's on the waiting list.
Do some more preacher crows. Doris, Dave? Okay, guys, thank you very much. The handoff for Hood, who's had a tough ball game. Knocks down 2.
Imitation is the highest form of flattery. Well done. And Ryan Anderson, huge, back in the basketball game. See how effective he is after that awful fall he took a few moments ago. But a tough kid as he's returned to play here. 1-point lead for the Duke Blue Devils. Hood off to Dawkins, who is closing in on 1,000 career points. Hood off the fake, got his man in the air and hit it. See how
if you're both moving at the same time, that's going to be the result.
7th turnover for Wake Forest. Kavanaugh staying in the game for the time being. 5.5 before the break. Hood, first points of the
halftime. Got to be under control.
Rodney Hood finding his rhythm. One you say was on Moto.
Yeah, Adolomoto did not get off the ground for that pass. If you're looking for a lob and you're open and Thomas threw it to the right spot towards the corner of the backboard, you've got to be able to lock your man, hold it, and then leave your feet if necessary. And Adolomoto never really left his feet.
There he is again.
And she's loving it.
Tied at 18. Duke ball. Shot clock down to 12. Hood navigates his way all the way to the
Rico, you think about David Pash, Dave O'Brien, and Sean McDonough was here a little bit earlier. I wonder who they're rooting for.
Jefferson hot early, then went to the bench with a couple of fouls. Nice look to a wide open Rodney Hood.
He can shoot
this facility.
It's beautiful.
4-point lead, Syracuse, 2:15 to go in the first half. Cook just barely got away with it. Hood, and another 3.
Can't leave him open, man. He and Dawkins, their eyes light up, man, like $50. Unbelievable if they get wide open.
Hood will silence the crowd.
He said he knows this game will go down in history, and guys, he told me leading up to this game, it felt like leading up to the Final Four.
Shannon, thank you. Jefferson back in the game. Dawkins and Parker out, Jefferson in.
See, he's thinking just like I was thinking. You got to stagger.
Hood.
Parker, big basket right there.
Boy, they trapped that ball screen situation. They trapped before the screen even got there. That was just a terrific defensive job by the big guy.
Chance for Duke to take the lead now. Matt Jones back on the court for Duke. It's Cook, Hood, Parker, Jones, and Jefferson.
Very effectively, Talib Zana came over to double-team Parker, but they allowed him to split it. They got to stay shoulder to shoulder there.
Ticking down to 1 minute left in the half. It's been tight throughout. The largest pit lead 7. Duke's biggest advantage 3. And now Hood buries one
In this game.
Cameron Wright couldn't connect with Talib Zana. Cook the other way. Hood's open again for 3, and he doesn't miss that. In this year's draft, if not the #1 pick, make a lot of money immediately. Fourth three-point field goal he's made this year.
He is really starting to come on as a player. A skilled player, not a great shooter, but he has drawn a tough assignment to guard Jabari Parker, and he's done overall a pretty decent job. Hood wrong to the bucket.
Tonight, after the Duke-Syracuse game, which will be a game-day game, we're going to know an awful lot about this Duke team against high-caliber competition. Monday at Pittsburgh.
And then they go to Syracuse. The Pitt game and the Syracuse game both on the road. They're expecting a crowd maybe 35, 36,000 at Syracuse. Here's Hood. Got it. That should be Parker on the other end. And tipped in by Hood. Rodney Hood, who
Carl White has put him a deficit. He does a terrific job.
Here's Hood from the corner. He buries a triple. Invisible.
Yeah, I really wonder if Leonard Hamilton doesn't make a switch to his lineup. And even if you brought one of those into the starting lineup, is I think their major weakness. They're very good defensively. They're better at rebounding than they've shown.
Firepower. Suleiman has all of a sudden has found his game.
Speaking of which, Rodney Hood.
Really no post presence at all. He's more an active three guy. Miami's got to find a way to get a little turnover and maybe can sneak out for a layup. Watch out, Duke players. They catch the ball and they immediately go into triple threat position. Square and face the basket.
Cook. Backdoor cut to Hood.
They're executing.
2 blue double run. And Miami just can't score. Another takeaway. Turnover number 8. Rodney Hood throws it down.
Turnovers. Oh, nice change of direction.
Blocked inside again. It was Jabari Parker. And Cook will pull it back outside.
Smart play right there. Parker really doing a great job on the glass. Kelly had a game against Miami. That was a little payback after being humiliated. He goes to 36 in a game where every point was needed. It wasn't like scoring 36 in a 25-point blowout.
The lob. Throw down.
And people out there, and they're 100% right. You got great personality. You're prepared. You got spirit, enthusiasm. I'm going to be your agent, man. I mean, I'm coming winding down. I'm on the last chapter of my career. And maybe I'll come back as an agent in my last end of it. Even though I want to go 15 more years. I know Hank Goldberg's here tonight. I love Hank. Works for Bob Lee, but I told him, I said, Hank, my goal is 15 more years. I want to be the first 50-year guy in ESPN.
Hood hits a three.
He comes in as the top scoring team in the ACC. Second best shooting team in the conference.
From Hampton, Virginia. Washington. Got to make that. Cat on the loose. Nice look by the little guy. Cook early. Hood for three. That's murder. You got to get back. This is what you got to do. Be busy. Don't just stand still. Got to help your partner out. On the fly, that play was.
Talking to Mike Krzyzewski before the game, and he talked about this earlier. A very young team. One of the youngest, in fact, that he's worked with recently.
Ever, he said, I thought.
Good.
And that guy is amazing how he can just use both hands.
Washington, those long arms, vacuuming in that ball.
Oh, nice hands. I didn't thought he had one.
Good.
The other end was all set up by the hands of Thornton.
All season. Any more so than how much talk there's been about freshmen in this college game this year. And individually, too. Here's a good runner inside. That's by a sophomore, a transfer.
Darion Atkins, who came into tonight, just 44% for the year from the free throw line. Virginia staying in the game from the line. And the lob.
Face-up shooter's got a good touch. You're not going to get a much better shot than that in any offensive set.
Brogdon's foul was his first, the team's sixth. Borderlands had a huge half, 12 points on 5 out of 6 shooting. Hood's open for 3. Brogdon, 31-point loss, the worst at home for NC State since 1993. The biggest margin ever for UVA over NC State.
It is so difficult when you're playing a guy that can really drive it. You want to take away that shot. Oftentimes, your reflex is to put your arm on it.
Hood scored earlier this year at Green Bay. Back in early December, Jay went 6 out of 7 from the line. And since then, he is 7 for 27. So apparently that game was a fluke.
Well, he's clearly not a good free throw shooter, but he has done some really good things in this game. His defense has been really good on Jabari Parker. He's rebounded very well.
Just like you, to accentuate the positives at all times. Our first big Monday of the season. Hood with the shot clock running out.
And, and he's going to have to guard bigs. And you wonder if the effect of that may be wearing him down a little bit on that end of the floor. Even playing guys who aren't scoring, just having to block them out. Boy, Rodney Hood's been fantastic off those 4 turnovers. And a 3-point lead and the basketball for the Blue Devils. Part of the scoring of the lineup for Duke right now is going to fall to Dawkins and Hood. And here is Rodney Hood. He'll get the basket and the foul. Terry Waymer, one of the umpires today, and a good one. Was at the Final Four a season ago in Atlanta. Here's Dawkins to Hood for the triple. Rodney Hood. Mike Krzyzewski take another look at this zone for a while. It's been pretty effective against the Tigers. I'm trying to remember. It's not a number of games. It's more like a number of possessions per year. You see zone out of the blue. Off the dribble, but Parker able to get by him and get a foul called. Here's Cook. Into traffic and back to Hood. Let's see, I'm sure Clemson, one of the things at the top of their list is trying to get out and defend 3-point shooters better in this half. Make them drivers. Yep. There is Hood, a deep 3. Wow. 7-0 run by the home team. Hood working against Blossom Game. Fall away 2. Rolls in softly for just those 30 seconds makes a big difference over the course of 40 minutes. Boy, nice move, Hood.
OC leaves it short. Duke's leading the ACC 16th in the nation in scoring, nearly 85 points a game. 33% of their points come from behind the arc.
You watch the versatility of Jabari Parker, able to take Kenyon Halsey out.
Poole steps into a deep one. After Georgia Tech had hit consecutive threes, they're not a great three-point shooting team, only 21% over the last 4 games. Here's Hood, the lefty to the rack.
On the arc, that was a force right there, and that's what he has to be careful of. He's got to let the game come to him.
All alone, Halsey took a bump. And the loose ball is taken by Suleiman. He wants to push. Rodney Hood strikes it from deep. 10-point Duke lead.
I'm Brian Gerby. I got to get Jalen Miller back in the ball game. I mean, he's got no personal foul. Sure, he might be a bit windy.
Buttercups on ESPNU and live on Watch ESPN. Northwestern has a new coach this year, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And I guess Chris Collins is understanding what it's like to be in that first seat.
Sledding for Georgia Tech. Blue Devils have won 29 of 32 in the head-to-head matchup.
And once again, Brian Graver telling his guys to step up, come on up, put pressure on him. Don't just let him stand there with the ball.
Hood again. Got it! Rodney, but not knocking him down when you get there. 0 for 6.
Well, when it's all said and done, they can't look at the discrepancy in the free throw line because they haven't made any. It's easy to say if you equal the amount of free throws that they would make any right now, as poorly as they've said.
They usually get 15 points a game from the free throw line. Hood, he is perfect.
of their points coming in the paint.
And, you know, I asked Eric Atkins before this game, I said, who's going to be the guy that can step up and supply some of what's going to be missing in Grant's absence? And he talked about August being that guy because of the athleticism and the ability to score on the interior.
Duke riding a 5-game winning streak, blowout win over Elon on Tuesday. That jumper goes smooth.
Whistles haven't been too quick. They're still allowing the players to determine what happens on the floor.
Tom Knight, B.J. Beacham check in for Notre Dame.
And they're dynamic players that, in essence, create a post game because you're always going to have to be in help position defensively with Hood and Parker. It's just a matter of those guys making good decisions when they're on the floor.
6 points for Garrick Sherman, 3-point lead for Notre Dame. Hood makes his move, turns around and gets the roll.
He would have really been upset had he made it.
We might have had a fight on our hands if that ball goes down. There's Cook directing the offense. There's been some frustration here for Duke. Hood, a 3. Count it. 1 possession.
Good discipline by the young man. 1-point game. With your Duke, you haven't played your best. Your best player hasn't been nearly the factor you would expect, and yet you have a chance to go into halftime with the lead.
Down to 10 seconds left. Here's Hood. 6 seconds. Hood backs up. Hood, a 3. He's got it.
Listen, they're just physically going to be outmatched by teams with size, and defensively they don't turn you over or disrupt you enough to create more possessions.
Hood, the step back 3.
Last 2 possessions, a lot more under control for Notre Dame from an offensive standpoint.
52-46, Duke. Hood, a 3.
And those kinds of plays allow you to get your defense set. Let's see if Notre Dame can create some stops here in the next couple minutes.
11 straight games in double figures for the senior Garrick Sherman. 7-point lead for Duke. Swinging inside, Jefferson. They collapse. Hood.
Barker's playing that, and I think probably even better than Carmelo did his 1 year at Syracuse.
Does he have the tools to become an elite defender?
Honestly, I don't think that's his strength. Follow him. Josh Harrison, similar to that. But then you look at the hierarchy at Duke. You talk about Coach K, but then you look at guys, Jeff Capel, Steve Wojciechowski, Nate James. They played here. They understand what it's like to be a part of it. That's one facet. And the second facet is when you start playing pickup and you play with Jabari Parker and you realize direction, you know, so when you talk about using the three-pointer as your weapon, they definitely did that Davidson with him there. You know, Davidson, a great Southern Conference program.
Rodney Hood with a take.
Together in high school, and Troutman, of course, having to deal with all the Plumlees at some point. So from that standpoint, they're not strangers at all to having to go against each other. It's just like practice for him.
3 from Hood.
Spot against the 2-3 zone. Parker turnaround. Call the tech. Rodney and test the Duke defense, transition defense getting back. He will go coast to coast if you allow him to. And if you're his teammate, you got to run with him because you know you're going to get the ball.
Here's Hood. Yes. Rodney Hood's first 3 of the game. He has 5. Here's Combs. Too strong, trying to answer with a 3 of his own.
Yeah, you got to recognize time and score situation. And
Parker lost it on the dribble. Here's Hood.
See that bad shot.
And we'll keep an eye on that. Ware missed the first 3 games of the season after going an appendectomy. Nice ball movement by the Blue Devils. Very experienced guys, 5th-year seniors, 23 years of age. David and Travis Ware. Of course, they started at Carolina, so the Duke program familiar with them.
Yep, started at North Carolina. You get enough PT playing time going back to California. See, this has been the problem for UCLA. Really having a tough time defending. Didn't have much trouble in some of the games because it was Cupcake City.
But Duke is now 6 for 18 shooting threes. Turnover. Parker ahead to Hood.
You
Yeah, I can see it's a big game.
You want to go get his autograph? Come
I
back
should go
after
get his
the next time
autograph.
out.
What about the hat he's wearing?
The zone by UCLA. Levine and Alford into the game off the bench again for the Bruins.
They started out man-to-man the second half with that zone. See, wait inside out. See, right now, they're going to get some stops. UCLA defense has been really difficult for them.
By the way, Quinn Cook has 7 steals in this game, and Duke's turned a lot of that into offense. Much better ball movement.
With so much more confidence. He's got that little swag now, man. He's got that Jersey swag. Just like Springsteen has. He's a Jersey guy, too.
Hood. They play on.
This one of the top players not only in the Big Ten but in the country. Matt Jones and Tyler Thornton did an exceptional job on him defensively, making sure they stayed stuck to his hip.
Strange throws it up with plenty of time on the shot clock and back-rimmed it. Rodney Hood in transition. Shooter's touch.
For the NBA playing for the Orlando Magic came off the bench.
Well, even when Oladipo got to Indiana, he was still growing. Hood inside and a chance
on players from North Carolina, all the big time. Kyrie Irving, I'm calling you out too. We're trying to do the game in July. Let's put it on.
Rodney Hood goes to his right hand and takes it all the way.
As active as Jabari Parker is, a tendency to stand up sometimes, and Jerome Hill has noticed that he's cracked into the lower half of Jabari, a reason why he has 17 points down low on the block.
This is Rodney Hood, and one coming. Robinson with an air ball. They got to get a shot off. Walton for 3. And a good block out there by Hairston to free up the rebound for Hood.
But that's a key for Duke. They got to block out because they don't have great size.
Hood for 3. Michigan. Robinson as well, and John Horford comes into the game for the first time. Hood knocks down the jumper.
What a great family. Mom and Dad, as classy as can be.
Dan Shulman, Dick Vitale with you at Cameron Indoor Stadium. The Big Ten ACC Challenge. The ACC up 3-0 so far, and Duke leading here in a low-scoring game. Neither team executing particularly well offensively. They're up by 5.
And both clubs doing a great job denying offensive transition. Really doing a terrific job defensively in transition.
And Duke more than holding its own on the glass so far. Hood from the corner, he rattles it home to make it a 10-point deficit.
Jump shot by McGarry. I'd like to see McGarry take that big body, that wide body, go to that low box, and command the ball. I want the ball.
He's so much bigger than Jefferson.
And he's got great moves down there, too.
Hood the drive, the hang, and the hit.
Strength, power, physical, take advantage of the situation.
Hood the drive, and he lays it in. A few times already. Arizona is the bigger team. We'll see how that plays out.
I think Duke has gone defensive, going with Hairston and Thornton. They were so embarrassed in a 1-point win over Vermont. He changed the lineup, and he looked great against Alabama in that first Wildcat team. Is going to be one of the elite teams in America all year long. They're just too talented, too well coached. They got athletes, my friend.
And size as well. Hood. Soft touch.
And that's why Jefferson becomes vital. Mike Krzyzewski said to me as I was leaving his locker, he said, "That's boy, size could be a problem, so we're not going to get bigger tonight."
Duke's about dead even in the rebounding numbers on the season. Arizona's out rebounding their opponents by 4.
He took it on the phone. He said, "I'm going to get him to shoot the ball a little bit more." Sean was a heck of a point guard when he played in Pittsburgh.
Connection between him and McConnell. McConnell from Duquesne, and McConnell's dad, a high school coach in the Pittsburgh area. Hood banging with McConnell.
Pretty good ratio.
Yep, comes in with a season ratio better than 3-1. Hood for 3. What a rebound almost by Suleiman.
But right there, he's got to score the ball.
By the way, T.J. McConnell, 6 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, and a steal, and only 1 turnover in 19 minutes in the first half. Hood, who started the game quickly, foul on Ashley. That's key. Also, the foul was before the shot, so no free throws for Parker. But Ashley's been one of the best players for Arizona tonight.
And that's one of the keys you don't see in a box score, the value of Parker getting people in foul trouble.
A steal by Hood.
Hood made a tremendous play there. He came, fronted the post man.
What a tremendous play there, too. Well, Grant's tenure, only Kentucky and Florida have more wins in the NCAA.
Here again, it gives Alabama that opportunity to pick up full court right there.
Just do get it over without throwing it out of bounds. Hood banks it home.
Out there by the three-point line. That favors Duke, but good job of scoring on a broken play.
Vermont with the lead off of that bucket. Hood with the answer as he It's a Vermont team shooting less than 40% on the season. They have really struggled to take the lid off. Suleiman harassed, kicks. Dawkins an extra pass for Hood. Got it. And it really has for Vermont if you consider their numbers coming in. That was an air ball from Apfel. Vermont shot just 39% in their loss to Wagner last time out. Hood, a triple for Rodney. Hits the floater. He's got 4. Duke had an 18-point lead against East Carolina. Had that frittered away. The Pirates nearly pulled the upset and brought it to 1.
Yeah, because of dribble penetration, they were able to break down their matchup one-on-one from the perimeter.
Good deep to make it tough to guard as Vermont goes zone here when a point guard is able to change his speed.
Well, remember Coach Becker said we want to keep them off guard. So this is the first time they've gone to the zone.
Wills, who's nursing a broken finger. Ethan O'Day is injured. So is Ryan Pearson, a couple of their key bigs. The Vermont team picked to win the America East. Rodney Hood has another.
Who's wearing the Tar Heel blue?
Got a couple wins in this building as a player, but East Carolina as a program is 0 for 20 all-time against Duke. Rodney Hood has.
You win the CIT, maybe East Carolina could start to generate some momentum as a program.
It was their first winning season in 14 years. Rodney Hood for his first triple. Campbell knocks down both free throws. Duke, as we mentioned, hasn't missed a field goal yet tonight, so the question becomes who will have that albatross. It won't be Rodney Hood.
Now, the guy who makes the bucket is the elder statesman Richmond, but I'm telling you, there's some things to work with.
How about Hood?
Standing job by Zingari to go ahead and move without the ball and make himself an option.
That was the third on Caleb White. He stays on the floor for the time being. Not only is East Carolina a good come-from-behind team, but they know how to win close games. 8 of their last 9 games decided by 1 possession have ended in ECU wins.
And they were almost exclusively zoned down the stretch of that first half.
Campbell gets by his guy, but can't finish. Rodney Hood. East Carolina, they won it by 2 thanks to a 23-4 run to close the game.
They worked so hard this morning to shoot around East Carolina, doing everything hard on the offensive end. It has translated to this game.
Hood saw a crease.
1-2-1-1 that was effective against Norfolk State last night. They'll be opportunistic with traps.
Pull it out. Cook feeds Hood instead. Injury to Will Weeks, a knee injury for the sophomore from Charlotte. They're also without Trent Meyer, who's out with an ankle injury. So shorthanded tonight for the Bulldogs. 4-point game.
So after some early turnovers, when they've been opportunistic with their shots, they've made a couple.
Hood, the lefty in the lane. Nice.
After the play, they counted the basket, right?
They counted the basket, according to our producer.
So Hood with the steal now on the other side. It'd be nice if we could just talk hoops instead of rules, and Hood's...
I don't see why they can't travel with the team.
Andrew Rousey, no.
See, I think they're going to struggle to get any kind of momentum if he doesn't start making shots.
Rodney Hood. Wow, can he get after it? Pressure. They tried to force it. Instead, Hughes turns it over. 9th turnover of the game. Rodney Hood. So good. Offensive rebound by Jefferson against the zone. Finds Hood. He's got 3 threes tonight.
Come in ranked number 4 in the nation, 115 consecutive weeks in the top 10.
Which I think everybody's interested in, including Coach Krzyzewski, how this team is going to handle a loss, handle adversity, and how they come out tonight.
Here's Cook, the junior out of Maryland, controlling for Duke. Hood's first shot of the game is good. And that wants to get a quick timeout. Trap fires away. Too strong. Hood took it himself. And he gets
Kansas was 6.
That's the toughest call in college basketball.
I really think it is. When you talk to the officials, the block charge is the most difficult call they have to make. That and goaltending.
Here's Hood working against Trap, and he gets it to go. Just muscled his way to the basket.
And Cook's fault because he didn't get over the screen hard enough and level off the dribble penetration.
The window for Dragan Sakeljic.
If you're going to play behind him, you have to push him off the block a little further out on the floor.
That's just his first field goal of the game. He has 3 points. Here's Hood. Beautiful move.
Season very, very unselfish.
Puts it on the deck again. And follows his own miss.
And then take it as deep into the lane as he did on that possession.
Parker. And they work a little clock coming up on 10 seconds on the shot clock, and a beautiful sweeping left hand.
47 points per game between them. Another Duke turnover, but they get it back. Shot clock did not reset. Wide open. Corner 3, Rodney Hood.
Down there to Chicago. Get to the beautiful windy city.
We mentioned this in the first game. This series, the Classic, has been renewed for 3 more years. Next year in Indianapolis, 2 years from now back here in Chicago, and 3 years from now in news on the bench for Duke right now. Wiggins finds himself on Thornton. White, who's a very good athlete for Kansas, is defending Hood. Hood, count it.
957 wins, a gold medal, which he says admits to the pressure of that. He said, I still get jitters. He's nervous.
Said he still gets nervous. Smooth looking jump shot, big upsets. Hood on the drive, a lot of contact. Follows it up and knocks it down. He's the guy that Duke talked about today. It gave them fits in a meeting last year. You know, the Blue Devils won that rather handily by 17, 67-50. Hood denied there, slapped away, wanted back. He'll bank it in.
That mask on his face, close scrimmage against Texas, and he breaks his nose.
4-point game, so Davidson, as we expected, has closed it up. Nice back shot there by Hairston, and may have forced that shot a bit. Cook wants to run. They really want to push the tempo every chance they get. Duke has won 101 consecutive non-conference home games. On the baseline, very tough shot. Oh, what a find this season. Duke, North Carolina, Virginia, Wichita State, possibly Temple. They're really going to have a very difficult run, but Bob McKillop likes it that way.
And they dropped into a 2-3 zone here, just try to disrupt the rhythm of Duke just a bit, try to make them execute against it.
Shot clock down to 9 now for the Blue Devils. Thornton, the swing here. Hood into the lane. And Duke with a sizable lead heading into the second half and the basketball here at Cameron Indoor. So a fine start for the Blue Devils. And if you're the Wildcats or Bob McKillop, what are you telling your team at halftime?
Well, you're playing 4-minute segments, and this is about pride of program.
Hood down the lane and a quick man. Tony lost it, taken away by Duke. They want to run. Hood looking for the bank shot. Yes. Last year, so it's going to be a very impressive win any way you cut it for Duke. It will also be the 16th consecutive win over Davidson here at Cameron Indoor for the Blue Devils. Cook gives it up. Hood lofts it up. Got it.
Capitalize, and he surveys as Duke spreads the floor. Suleiman looking for Rodney Hood, who posts up the smaller Gatling. Hood's got about 7 inches on Gatling, and Suleiman over to Thornton, back down to Rodney Hood, takes advantage of them, and particularly towards the end of a half. The last 4 minutes of a half has always been a great time for Duke and a dangerous time for opponents. Duke does have its largest lead of the game right now at 30-23 as Jones passes up an open 3 but finds Rodney Hood for State. He's got 8 points on the afternoon to go along with a rebound and an assist. Quinn Cook back in the game now, operating the offense for Duke. Jabari Parker kicking out to Rodney Hood for a nice open 3, and that's good. Duke leads by 10. Their largest lead of the game was 11. Just over 4 minutes left here in the first half of the first exhibition game of the 2013-14 season. Rodney Hood again.
They will be way out of sorts.
They're also out of players by about halfway through the first half.
Absolutely.
As Quinn Cook inbounds to Rodney Hood, who does a really action here for Bowie State. Lead is 29 for the Blue Devils, John, 84-55.
And Bowie State, the thing that's, they're still pressing, they're still trapping. I mean, they really have competed very, very well today.
Such a